soda and lunch and Lake's place in the middle of the day. At any rate, we all rode downtown. I mean, my brother and I, and worked. It was one of the jobs. So my mother took care of us, and the working part, Bill went off to the University of Michigan. In those days, it was $100 a tuition for out of state. For out of state, in state was for free. So he promptly got himself a job with a local eatery, and worked his way through Michigan and graduated with a degree. And we all loved. It's a 300-mile straight drive across Canada from Buffalo to Detroit, and Ann Arbor was 30 miles, 20 miles out of Detroit. So it was a one-day trip to get to Ann Arbor for a football game, and we really enjoyed doing that. I grew up rooting for Michigan.
Did you go to football games a lot?
Hmm?
Did you go to the football games often?
Yeah, I'd say once or twice a year at least. And again, I don't know what we probably had a Ford in those days. No, at one point we had a Willys Overland touring car. I don't know what we drove to Detroit.
And your mother always went with you?
Yeah, well, she was the driver.
Yeah.
She drove every place. And I don't know, just as an aside, I won the city cross-country championship high school 3 years in a row, and the second or third year we used to have, oh God, we had a not a priest, you know, a minister for a high school principal, believe it or not. Anyway, the name's Rhodes, and of course they call him Dusty Rhodes. He thought he was being very nice, and in one of these assemblies, he called for me to get up on the stage. Unfortunately, it was a Friday, and I was on my way to Michigan.
So, Grandpa, why don't you tell us a little bit about your brothers and sisters?
Okay, I have an older brother. Both of my brothers are dead. My older brother was, I don't know how to describe him. He was an extrovert, obviously. When someone would go wrong, he'd say, well, I didn't ask to be brought into this world. You know, I don't care which way the wind blows, left or right. Anyway, and he was an athlete in high school. He ran the hurdles and was extremely well liked and an individualist. My second brother, unfortunately, he was the third brother, and he was 5 years behind me. So I was out of high school and out of college when he came along, and he was on his own. Very bright, very hardworking fellow who also dabbled in track, but he became a doctor, and he was an internist and a super internist, and died of cancer early. I don't know, I guess he's been dead. He was in California. Incidentally, my mother, how did she get, my older brother worked for the Detroit Free Press. He worked in the Chicago Tribune. He worked for, who was the sister of somebody who had a, I don't know how to call it. Anyway, you would recognize her name, I forget. He worked for her as a public relations and eventually made his way to California. And that's how my mother got to California. He thought it was a better place for her to live than Buffalo. And so she drove out to California and thought nothing of it. Visited her family in Kansas on the way. And she settled down out there. The two of them were there. So when my brother Bo set up shop, he settled in California. And I was the only Easterner there. They all were out there.
Let's take a step back here, and well, you actually didn't talk about your sister Janet.
Well, Janet had long blonde hair down to her shoulders, even in high school. And she'll tell you she had a hell of a time growing up with three brothers. But from time to time, the three brothers took care of her, and we all went. They started in one high school, and then one was built in our area. I was the freshman class in it, and they were juniors and seniors. So Janet, you want to answer?
Yep.
Tell me who it is. They ought to answer it upstairs. She had her plethora of boyfriends and almost married the wrong guy, but didn't. Finally married Ed Stroman, who went to the same high school for it. Anyway, that turned out very well. We all were fortunate in our ability to get good grades and have no difficulties in high school. And Janet, we didn't have any money. Janet was the second one to go to college. Yeah, she's older than I am, a year and a half. So she went to Michigan nursing school, which was free, and got a nursing degree. And unfortunately, just wasn't enough money around to let her stay. You had to go 5 years if you got your nursing degree and a B or B or whatever, AB. So she never graduated from college, which has always been a sore spot with her, but there's nothing she could do about it. Just as an aside, there was a man named Briggs, auto body. When she got out of college, she went to work for him as a private nurse. He had some kind of problem. So for 2 or 3 years, she traveled the world with the Briggs family. Then she got tired of that and quit that and went back to Buffalo and went to work.
Let's talk about...
What, pardon?
Go ahead, finish, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, Bo was really an excellent doctor, and it's a damn shame that he died. And I miss my brothers.